Hello. I hope you all are having a great day so far. Now let's talk a little bit about the decisions and planning that made the Brooklyn Bridge what it is today. Up until the mid-1800s, most bridges utilized cast iron in their construction. It was a last-minute decision by the bridge's architect that changed the material from cast iron to steel. The material, steel, began being mass-produced in the mid-1850s, which allowed John Roebling to easily make the change to the stronger and lighter material. Compared to cast iron, steel is easily malleable, which made it easy to form the cables that would hold up the bridge's main deck. The tougher steel made it possible to hold the bridge and make it the longest bridge in the world at the time of its grand opening. This was the first time steel wire was used in the construction of a cable. The cables on the bridge are roughly 16 inches thick and contained over 5,000 intertwined steel wires. The first order of wire Roebling received for the cables was faulty. However, it was still strong enough to suspend the roadway. The bridge's roadway initially had 2 railroad tracks, 2 trolley car tracks, and a single-lane road. This allowed for quicker and easier transportation from Brooklyn into Manhattan. Trolleys were first used in New York in 1832, so this expanded the amount of area the transportation service could reach, allowing residents to get around the city more easily. Construction of the Brooklyn Bridge officially began on January 3, 1870. It took just over 13 years to complete, finishing construction on May 24, 1883. A fun fact about the bridge is that due to extremely harsh working conditions, the bridge claimed roughly 20 lives, and to this day, 3 bodies remain buried in the concrete. Initial construction problems with the bridge were just weeks before construction even began. The bridge's chief engineer, John Roebling, died from tetanus. He passed the job on to his son, Washington Roebling. However, 3 years later, Washington was also diagnosed with a disease called Caisson's disease. His wife, Emily Roebling, took over while he laid in his apartment across the river, overwatching with a telescope. Emily was recognized for her achievements and became the name people think of when they think of the bridge. When building the bridge's foundation, 2 caissons were destroyed in a fire, and a supporting cable snapped and fell into the river. Also, the width of the East River made the idea of constructing a bridge there seem impossible. That's why no one did it for many, many years. Unlike typical suspension bridges of the day, the Brooklyn Bridge was constructed using steel instead of iron, making it much stronger. The bridge's enormous towers served to be the most difficult feat. Their foundation had to be dug out, which introduced the caisson, a large wooden box that would sink to the bottom of the river. Men would go down into the caissons to dig out sand and mud, which allowed the towers to sink further into the river. Down in the caisson, there were very hard working conditions. Many men perished in the caisson, and the caisson's disease was developed deep in the water. This claimed many lives of the workers as well. After the caissons finally sunk, they were filled with concrete. The towers were then built on top of them and amassed a height of 278 feet above water level. Workers then began constructing the 4 cables that would suspend the roadway. The cables took over a year to be strung between the towers and another 5 years for the roadway to be suspended on the cables. The bridge was open for traffic on May 24, 1883, and was hosted with a celebration thrown by the city. The bridge to this day is still used by millions of people every year. And these are the sources I used to create my presentation. Have a great day.